Episode 48, All the Everything podcast. I'm
Mhm.
Billy. That's Tim. Tim, what
Hi.
is going on, my man?
Oh, everything's going on right now. We're having a beautiful day here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's only in 60s right now. Beautiful blue skies. It's gonna creep into like the 70s. So it just gets you in a vibe for a really good day. One of those kind of
Yeah.
beautiful, nice days outside with a good breeze. So happy about that. Just busting out some work. We got some fun stuff this weekend for my birthday,
Whoop,
pre-birthday
whoop.
stuff. I'm going on the Bourbon Trail.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I know you guys hear this, will be like forever old, but I had to say what I'm feeling right now, and I'm very excited for that. So, I ordered special shirts for us to wear. We have matching shirts both days for me and my buddies.
You
So,
didn't make them? You didn't make them?
well,
You
here's the
ordered?
deal. I started to make them. That was my goal, and
Yep.
then I figured by the time they were pretty inexpensive. So I figured by the time I went and bought the shirt and then bought the vinyl and did them, it would probably balance out to be about the same.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I like it. Just so you
So
thought smart. Let's just
yeah,
let's just go with it.
it kind of killed me though. I was like, yeah, I could have done these easily.
He
But
could have made these.
I'll
Come
I'll
on.
pay the extra couple of dollars because they, like I said, they were pretty inexpensive. So anyhow, so I'm prepping for that. Looking for a good day today. How about yourself, man? What are you up to?
Dude, man, it is, yeah, like you said, it is that here in Alabama, we like to call it the fake fall. We get a little tease in the morning, but then
hmm
the heat gets turned on outside
Um,
and it's unbearable.
what's
We
what's
usually,
gonna be like the high temp there today? Like how
oh
hot is it gonna
gosh,
be?
it's going to be in the upper 80s,
Okay, humidity
which,
still kicking
oh,
butt.
humidity is like a billion.
Yeah.
That's just,
Okay.
yeah, life here. So,
Real feels 110.
yeah, that's why I've been walking at the Paris Center on the indoor track,
Yeah, I don't blame
and
you.
yeah, because that air conditioned, man. Because outside, I don't want to give myself a heat stroke. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's so hot.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Alabama and all, but I don't like the heat. I don't like the sound of that.
it's hot.
It's hot. It's
It's
Billy hot.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hotter than the hottest hot sauce that Billy's ever had.
That's really hot.
That's pretty hot, yeah.
Yep,
Now that we've killed them with mindless chit chat, I think I know we have a great episode today. I'm
we
excited
do.
to jump into it. So, are you ready, my friend? You ready to get
I'm
into
ready,
it?
buddy. Yep, let's get those goosebumps going.
Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, weird, or tall. So grab your snacks, sit back, don't stress. Cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. Information prone to UFOs will take you where the weirdness goes. It's two guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud. Welcome to the madness.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by my man, the best in the business, the guy who's trying to avoid the sweaty back and the sweaty crack because he's
Ooh.
walking inside. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Parchment.
That's right. What's going on, Tim?
I don't know why that's the best intro I could come up with in the moment, but
Sweaty back and sweaty crack.
the back and crack you're trying to avoid.
Ooh.
And anyhow, I'm sorry for everyone who has a visual of that right now. I apologize, but it's kind of funny.
It is. I like it. I like it. I'll take it because
to take
that
it?
means I'm doing something. I'm out there working, man.
Better
Moving and
work,
grooving.
work. Good job,
Right.
man.
Thank you.
Hey, do you have a My Zone heart workout
No,
thing?
I go off of my old Apple Watch here and Apple Health.
You should think about getting a My Zone because you and I could share all our stuff, all our stats together. We cheer for each other a little bit. It's just an
Oh,
addition to the watch. You can wear it on your other wrist, but it tracks very accurately, almost even more accurate than your watch does, as far as calories burned, heart rate, and what different levels and zones you go into. So,
very cool. I think they need to sponsor us, actually.
yeah, anybody at My Zone, I know you guys have a massive company around the world, and you might need just a couple more ambassadors.
That's
I can
right.
tell you for sure, I've been wearing it for years, and I absolutely love it.
I'll be willing to check it out, bro. I'll, make it work.
Give
If
my
it's
boy
real,
a chance.
yeah. If it's real, we'll go for it, my man.
Let's do it. All right. You heard it out there. We need your help, my zone. All right.
Let's come on, my zone.
But you know who also needs help?
Oh,
Who
who needs
live in
help?
this area we're talking about today.
Ooh.
We got some good stories. Billy, what are we talking about, my friend? Are you ready?
Well, yeah. Today, just prepare yourself because it wasn't already scary enough to go in the woods. We're talking about those Appalachia scary stories, y'all.
Oh man,
Appalachia, Apple, who?
Appalachia,
Appalachia.
Apple, your mama. Okay.
So what? What is that, Tim?
Yeah.
Tim, what are we talking about? What is this all about?
If you listen to podcasts, true crime, anything about cryptids, ghosts, paranormal stuff like that, you're going to hear a lot of stories about Appalachia. And there's plenty of people, if you go on TikTok and type in Appalachia scary stories, people who live there and certain things that happen after dark or even during the day. But one thing I did find out is there is a specific set of rules that you have to have while living in Appalachia. So let me go over some of the rules first before we get into our stories about some of these people. The first one is when the woods go silent, completely leave. So they say the forest is never truly quiet. If the crickets, frogs, and owls stop, something is near. Hunters, hikers, and old timers all say when the woods go dead still, it's your cue to get out. So that's rule number one. This one is one of the creepier ones, I feel like. Don't answer voices in the dark. If you hear someone calling your name from a tree line at night, do not respond. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it just sounds like family. Sometimes it sounds like a child. Sometimes it's just completely off. Locals say if you answer, something might answer back, or worse, follow you home.
Ooh. I'm telling you, I was just showing the camera, like I got goosebumps.
Oh, he's got the goosies.
Oh gosh, it makes the hair on the back of your neck. Yeah, stand up. Oh my gosh. So y'all are in for a treat.
yeah, or nightmares, one of the two.
Or yeah.
The third rule is don't go poking around abandoned places. I think that's just a normal rule anywhere, but it says old coal camps, cabins, shacks in the woods often carry more than just dust. People say many places, quote unquote, remember things, and you may not like that they remember you. So the rule of thumb, if hairs are on your neck standing up, Billy, before you cross that threshold, don't cross it. Don't get. This is another one that freaked me out. And it says, don't look too long at things that are watching you. So they say strange lights in the trees, figures on the ridges, eyes reflecting where no animal should be. Acknowledge it, but don't challenge it. Staring, pointing, or talking about it out loud is said to invite its attention, and it may follow you home.
No, sir.
I'm going to do this one real quick. They said never take rocks, bones, or gifts from the wood because there's a lot of things that are left behind, like sticks, carved sticks, feathers, stone stacked in odd ways. They say leave it be. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Or you may invite a visitor back with you. Good Lord. Yeah. How many people are coming back? You mentioned this a couple of seconds ago. Whistling at night is bad luck. Yeah. Some say it calls spirits. Others say it tells something in the dark exactly where you are. Bottom line, after sundown, zip those lips. Keep quiet.
Don't whistle out in the woods, y'all. Just don't.
Stop whistling in the woods, all right? If you're going to pee, just pee. You don't have to sing a song about it.
That's right.
You don't need to know. Just unzip, do your job, and get back out of there. I'm sorry for all these visuals this morning. All right. Two quick ones. The first, I'm trying to move past it. Jeez. Don't follow tracks too far. So if you see tracks that suddenly stop or lead you in circles, turn back. Folks say that the mountain can use prints to lead you to where it wants you, and you might not come back. Creepy as heck. And here's the last one. But this is, there's like two last ones, but this one's the quickest one. Always tell someone where you're going. All right.
Yes. Common sense.
Always.
Yes.
About safety, some part superstition. Too many stories start out with someone going into the woods without telling a soul and never being seen again. And lastly, this is the last one. Don't disturb old graves. I think that just should go for everywhere you go. Don't touch it. Don't sit on it. Don't take stones. Don't speak ill of the people. Locals say that the dead don't rest easy if you disrespect where they lie.
And it's just common courtesy, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, no one should have to tell you don't disrupt a grave. I think that's cool. Pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, just be cool. Be cool. Don't be a jerk.
So that's some of the ground rules. Yeah, don't be a jerk. These are some of the ground rules of living in Appalachia. Another one I heard that I didn't see on here when I was typing up the thing was at night you have to lock all doors, shut all windows, pull the blinds and never look
Mhm.
out, no matter what you
Never.
hear or you think you hear. Never look
Never
out.
open those never look out those curtains, y'all. Just keep them
God,
closed.
I'm
Ugh.
scared just by the rules, man.
I'm telling you, man. That's but you gotta set the foundation for the
Yeah,
stories that we're about to build on
yeah.
because
You know what I really feel sorry for, Billy?
what's that?
Is when you're editing this podcast late at night by yourself.
I do because I edit at night, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, like when I was doing research, I was doing it at night after I get the girls to bed, right?
yeah.
And I'm like, gosh, why am I doing this to myself? Like I'm just like goosebumps, and like I'm doing all this reading, and I'm like putting me in a mindset to really go to bed, y'all.
You're like
You
looking
know
around,
what?
like
Oh my
you slowly
god!
close all your blinds. Like,
Yes, I'm not
don't
looking
mess
at
up.
what's that scratching at the window pane? No, no, mm-mm.
Nope, not
Not
today,
this
Satan.
guy.
Yeah.
Not this guy.
This guy is gonna live. He ain't gonna die.
Yep. Shoot.
Well, with the groundwork laid, the rules have been put in place. Billy, do you want to
Mhm.
start with your first
Yeah.
story? Let's get
This
it.
first story, yeah. Don't answer when they call your name.
Oh my God.
Folks who grew up in the mountains know the rules. They don't write them down, they don't preach them in church, but you hear them whispered over campfires and passed down from parent to child. The rules aren't there to keep you polite, they're there to keep you alive. Back in the 1980s, there was a boy named Daniel who moved to a small hollow in eastern Kentucky. His parents weren't mountain people, they bought cheap land trying to live simple, but the locals there warned them pretty quickly. This place has always had ways of its own. Teach your boy the rules.
Mm.
Daniel thought it was just old superstitions. He laughed when the neighbors told him never to whistle after dark. He ignored the warnings about staying out in the woods at night. Then one autumn evening, Daniel went missing. The story goes as he was walking back from a friend's trailer after sundown,
Hmm.
he cut down a trail at the edge of the woods. And by the time he hit the hollow, the moon had already dipped far beyond the ridge. Folks say neighbors heard him whistling as he walked, loud,
Oh no.
careless, breaking the first rule. Around midnight, his mama woke up to the sound of his voice outside the house,
Uh,
soft and almost playful. Mama, come here. She rushed to the door, but her husband grabbed her arm. That ain't him, he said. They lived there long enough to know the rules. Gosh, I
mhm.
got chills like, oh, on my face,
I
man.
know. I'm feeling it so much right now.
Oh my gosh. They lived there long enough to know the rules. If you hear your name called from the dark, you don't answer. The voice came again, this time from the tree line. Mama, it's cold, please. Her
Oh my
hand
God.
shook on the door frame, but she stayed put. They sat in the dark all night, listening to the voice circle the house. Sometimes it sounded like Daniel, sometimes it didn't. At dawn, the sheriff came. They searched for weeks, combing the woods, draining the creek. No body, no tracks, nothing.
Mm.
Just a single shoe lying in the leaves, too far off the trail to make sense. The family left the hollow not long after, broken and quiet. The hikers say if you're out near the ridge after sundown, you'll hear someone whistling. Just a few notes, sharp and lonely. And sometimes, if you linger too long, you hear your own name whispered from the trees.
No.
That's why old timers say the rules aren't superstition, they're warnings. And if you ever find yourself out there in the quiet of those mountains after dark, don't whistle, don't follow, and don't answer when they call, because what's out there already knows your name.
Oh no. Billy, my hair was up on my arms.
I got it on my face. I got on my cheeks. I just felt it. I was like, hold on. I got to sit here. I got to stop and reset here.
Your face is gonna be
Golly.
like flushed too.
Oh,
That is just so excuse me, so
it's
creepy.
so creepy, man. So creepy.
Oh
Whew.
my gosh. Like I didn't expect to feel this way reading and listening to them. I'd be honest with you. I knew they're creepy stories and it would be great for people listening. But just hearing you tell a story, and now I'm getting ready to tell mine, like that gives you all the,
That gives you the heebie-jeebies.
especially like the call from outside, like
The
mama let me in. It's cold.
Mama,
Oh,
yeah, Mama, it's cold.
whew.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that is creepy.
Okay, sorry.
No. Let's get into my first story. I'm so freaked out by yours. I seriously didn't expect to feel this way hearing you tell the stories. Like, honestly, I've always been fascinated by the scariness of these rules and things to do or whatever, but no, hearing one of the stories. Okay. Let's see if I can make you feel unsettled for a few minutes.
Come on now.
Okay. So we're heading to Appalachia in Virginia back into the late 20th century to a memory that's haunted a man since he was a child. It starts simply enough. An 8-year-old boy, bundled up in winter clothes, decides to wander a little too far into the snowy woods near his family's property. Here's the story. Now, for anyone who spent time in the Appalachians, you know these woods are no joke. They're thick, endless, and in the winter, the snow swallows everything. It muffles sounds, eats up your sense of direction, and before long, every tree looks exactly the same. The boy wasn't afraid at first. He liked the quiet. He liked the way the world seemed transformed by the snow, how the woods felt like a blank canvas. He followed his curiosity deeper and deeper until he was sitting on a fallen log, just listening to the snowness and enjoying his time. And then something happened that would mark him forever. From the belly of the woods came a sound, a scream, but not the kind of scream you might expect, like a fox's bark or a bobcat shriek, the kind of animal noises that can sound human if you've ever heard them before. But no, this was different. This was it's giving me the chills. This was human, or at least it sounded that way. A raw, piercing, blood-curdling scream that carried a weight of pain so heavy it froze him to the spot. He described it as the most terrifying sound he's ever heard in his entire life. It wasn't just loud, it was desperate. It was grief wrapped in rage, echoing through the trees, bouncing off the snow-covered hills, so that he couldn't even tell where it was coming from. And then it came again, louder this time. Closer. His heart began to hammer. He jumped from the log and started following his own tracks back toward his home, crunching through the snow as fast as his little legs could carry him. But here's the part that makes your skin crawl. The scream followed him. Oh, God, I was already freaked out before. Now, not just once or twice, it kept pace with him. Every step he took, it was with the scream was moving with him, circling him, trailing him. If he sped up, the sound seemed to quicken too. He just wasn't hearing it anymore. He could feel it, like the sound was vibrating in his bones. He ran until the familiar shape of his house came into view, until the warm glow of the windows cut through the gray winter evening. He burst through the front door, panting, eyes wide, snow clinging to his boots. His family looked up, surprised. And every single one of them, every aunt, uncle, cousin, was inside. No one had followed him into the woods. No one had even heard the screaming. He told his uncle what he'd heard, expected laughter, maybe a gentle pat on the head, maybe someone tell him he spooked himself. But the uncle didn't laugh. He didn't smile. He just went quiet, his face serious. And then he said, "Son, I think you outran the witch." Now, in that part of Appalachia, there's an old story. Some folks call her the witch. Others just say she's a woman's spirit trapped in the woods. The versions vary, but some say she was a mother who lost her children in a fire, and her wails are searching for them. Some say she was cast out of town for practicing dark magic and cursed to wander forever. Others whisper she's not human at all, something older, something that's always been there, wearing the voice of grief to lure people closer. The boy never went back to the woods alone again. Even as an adult, decades later, just remembering that scream was enough to raise goosebumps on his arms. And here's where the story spreads its roots, because it's not just his family. All through Appalachia, there are tales of things that sound human but aren't. Hunters hear voices calling their names from the trees. Campers hear a woman crying just beyond the firelight. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's a child voice asking for help. And when you follow it, nothing's there. These stories are so common they become part of Appalachian folklore. Old-timers warn, don't answer voices in the woods, don't whistle at night, don't follow what you think is a person calling out, because more than often, it isn't.
Golly.
Woo!
This is giving me Blair Witch vibes, that story.
That is 100% right. 100% right.
I remember going to that movie because it came out when I was like 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I had just started driving, and my dad let me drive by myself to go to the movies in his car. So I remember it was like a special night. And when that movie first came out, they kind of marketed it as this was a real life like footage, and it was filmed that way. You
Mhm.
later come see everybody that was on the movie coming to the MTV Movie Awards, accepting awards, and like, wait a second, weren't you murdered by a witch in the woods?
Aren't you all
You know,
dead? Yeah.
aren't y'all supposed to be dead? Kind of ruined the vibe there, but yeah, Blair Witch, man, it was creepy. That was giving me Blair Witch vibes for
Did I tell you
sure.
my story about Blair Witch movie? Have
No,
we said this before on the? So I was traveling with Leslie's parents, with Leslie and her brother. He used to swim collegiately, and we were going down to Florida for one of his swim meets. And at that time, for Blair Witch, it was only opening in small cities around the country,
Mhm.
and each city was papered with missing photos of all the people that were on the film. And so we went in there thinking this was a real thing. Like,
Right.
we're in the theater, people behind us are like sobbing, crying, and terrified and screaming. And I remember when the movie ended, we looked at each other like, what the F did we just watch? Like, we thought it was real, like legit at that moment,
Yeah.
because it hadn't spread throughout the whole country yet. No one was talking about it. Freaked us out, man. Freaked us out.
The marketing on that was phenomenal. When it first came out,
Genius, yeah.
it was phenomenal. But it always makes you second guess when you step in the woods, man.
I know. That was a crazy movie. Anyhow, definitely Blair Witch vibe. So I was getting creeped out talking to you about a story that I've already read 2 times.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. You ready to freak us out some more, Billy?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So this next story is called The Rule Breaker.
Oh, okay.
If you spend enough time in the Appalachian backwoods, you hear it sooner or later. The rules. We've been talking about that. The rules are there for your protection, but if you don't follow them, the mountain people will take care of it for you.
Oh.
This story comes out of Western North Carolina in the late 1970s. A college kid named Mark was hiking through the mountains with 2 of his buddies. They weren't locals. They had driven up from Charlotte looking for cheap thrills and campfire stories. The boys had read about the rules of Appalachia. They thought it would be funny to break every single one.
Oh, no.
On the first night, they whistled loud as they could at the camp that they had set up, just to mock the rule. They joked about summoning the spirits. They even called each other's names out into the trees, laughing when their echoes came back. The locals in the nearest town warned them that they needed to stop when they had gone to town for supplies.
Mhm.
Don't be loud at night. Don't wander off of the trails. Do not disrespect the woods. But the boys just laughed it off. By the second night, things got stranger. Around the fire, they heard movement in the bush, steady footsteps circling the camp. They figured it was just a deer until a low whistle cut through the dark.
No.
Not an owl, not a bird, a human whistle, slow and mocking. One of the boys laughed nervously and shouted, "Come on out then!" But nobody came.
Mm.
The next morning, one of their backpacks was gone, dragged clear out of camp. They blamed it on raccoons, but the strap had been cut clean with a blade.
Mm.
That night, the whistling returned, this time closer. Then, from the dark, they heard someone call, "Mark." Clear as day. Mark froze. It was his mother's voice.
No.
His buddies tried to laugh it off, but he swore it was her. And he stumbled towards the trees, insisting that he heard her calling. They dragged him back to the fire, terrified now. But by then, all around them, voices were calling. Not just one, dozens. Some
Oh,
high,
my God.
some low, all calling their names. When they finally couldn't take it anymore, they grabbed their gear and fled down the mountain trail, but they never made it back to town as a group. 2 of the boys had turned up the next morning, scratched, bruised, babbling about figures in the woods,
Wow.
tall, pale shapes standing in between the trees, blocking their way back. They swore the shapes never touched them, just herded them down the path until dawn, but Mark never came out. Some search parties searched the ridge for days. No blood, no body, nothing. Just his watch hanging from a tree branch like someone had placed it there on purpose.
No.
The sheriff shrugged it off as the boys just getting lost, but the locals knew. They said the mountain people do not tolerate outsiders mocking the rules. If you break them, the woods won't just punish you, the ones who live by the rules will. And if you think it's just an old ghost story, ask yourself this: how did Mark's watch get hung 8 feet up in the trees, right by where the trail begins, like a warning? That's why folks around here will tell you, plain and simple, do not whistle at night. Do not mock the rules, because even if it isn't the woods that come for you, the people who protect them will.
What? Let me just tell you the physical reaction I had to that story. One,
Okay.
chills. When you said he didn't come back, the chills all over my body, like everything just stood up. I started feeling like physically like anxious and like sick on my stomach to that story. Like this, I don't know, like the physical reaction to the story just got me.
Yeah.
Oh, God, these things creep me
And
out.
and this is like one of those, like, it kind of seems supernatural in spots, but and then also,
Yeah.
you don't mess with mountain people. You just don't do it.
No, they don't give a flying
Uh-uh. No,
not even
sir.
close. The part
No,
about all
sir.
the different voices calling all of them differently, that
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And especially like hearing your mama in the woods. Whew.
let me take
Come
some
on
deep
now.
breaths.
Come on now.
Man, this episode is creeping me out. I'm the one who suggested it. I don't know what I was
You
thinking.
are.
I didn't respect the rules. That was my problem.
Or maybe it was on purpose to help those,
That's true.
when they go camping at night. Now, will you go camping? Will you?
No.
Nope. Ain't
Nope.
gonna do it.
Ain't
Gonna do it.
I ain't not going to Appalachia and camping. Maybe like a campground where there's like tons of people around, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But I ain't going by
Yeah.
myself. Not going to the backwoods.
You're following
but
the rules. You're not gonna
I'm
whistle.
following the rules.
That's right.
So about 5 years back or so, I got probably a little bit, maybe a little bit longer. I got really into hiking. I just got obsessed with it. Hike every day because we got some trails not too far from our house I could walk to, and then when I got off work, I'd just go hike, and when it was wintertime, it was really dark in those woods. And like I'd always have one earbud in so I could hear around me. It would just play with your mind. Like you're like, even though you just walk this path and there's nobody in front of you, like you feel like there's someone right behind you. Not saying our woods are haunted, but it creeped me out. I remember the first time I went and did a night hike just to prepare myself. I had my camera and filming it. It really, really creeped me out. So that's the only thing I can feel that was somewhat like that. But I didn't hear anybody calling my name or trying to kill me. But we did one time though. This is a funny story about the. Dang, Billy, don't do it. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. All right,
What if you hear me in the forest go, Tim, it's Billy. Tim, Tim,
bring hot sauce. Billy, is that really you? If you don't say y'all, I'll know it's not you.
That's right.
Oh, I'm about to knock my microphone off the table here. One more story about the woods. I want to keep the creepy factor here, but Leslie and I were going hiking in those woods, and there was one big long straight path that kind of runs parallel with the park, and then some other neighborhoods connect. There was a guy in jeans, like a flannel shirt, tennis shoes, whatever, and we're walking, and he comes by us sprinting like he has seen a ghost or somebody was going to kill him. And we were like, what the heck is going on? It creeped us out because that guy looked like he was running for his life, like straight up running for his life. And we're like, should we continue going that way? I suspected seeing like a cop come up or something, like chasing somebody through the woods or something like that. There was nobody. So that was really creepy.
Oh my gosh. It's one of those
Forgot
like
about
those
that story.
viral videos where they just get some guy running.
Yeah.
And then
people are like,
what? What? And then they just start running without asking questions.
yeah. Or which one's like, run, and they just take off running with them. Yeah.
Just go. Just go. Oh my gosh.
All right, let me hop into my next story so we can keep the freaky factor going here.
Come on.
So let's start with a simple nightmare scenario. You're lost in the woods. That's great.
Mm.
Now, this is not the kind of, oops, I missed a trailhead loss, but the kind of loss where your phone battery is flashing red, your compass isn't making any sense, and the trees all start to look the same. The sun is dropping fast, the air is cooling, and you realize you might be spending the night out here, whether you want to or not.
Mm.
That's exactly what one hiker described on Reddit after getting turned around deep in the Appalachian forest. Now, the Appalachians are beautiful, but they're also enormous, rugged, and unforgiving. Once you wander off a trail, it's shockingly easy to get disoriented. Every hill looks like the last, every hollow feels familiar, and in the silence, you start hearing things. Branches cracking, wind rushing through the leaves, every noise amplified by your adrenaline. This hiker realized they were in trouble when their phone pinged its last bar of service, and in the panic, they dialed 911. But just as they were explaining their situation to the dispatcher, the phone died. Battery gone. No flashlight, no lifeline, no GPS, just the woods, the dark, and their own racing heartbeat.
Mm.
They decided to keep moving, hoping to stumble back onto the trail or hear traffic in the distance, and that's when things got strange. They heard footsteps, not their own, not the scatter of an animal, not the 4 feet rhythm of a deer. These were deliberate, heavy, human-like footsteps in the brush. Crunching leaves, snapping twigs, getting closer and closer. Relieved, they called out, "Hey, I'm lost. Can you help me?" The footsteps stopped. Dead silence. Then a beam of light cut through the trees, a flashlight sweeping toward them. For one heart-stopping moment, they thought they were saved. Somebody had found them finally. But just as quickly as it appeared, the light blinked out. No voice, no footsteps, nothing but the sound of their own breathing. Confused, they called out again. Still, no answer. They stood there frozen, waiting for the light return, waiting for someone, anyone, to say something, but the woods stayed silent. So they pushed on another half hour, stumbling, shivering, nerves fraying, and then again the footsteps, closer this time, crunching leaves, a branch snapping like someone shifted their weight. "Hello," they shouted. "Please, I need help, I'm lost." And again, the footsteps stopped. The forest went silent, and then from the shadows, the same flashlight beam flickered on, shining directly at them. No voice, no explanation, just that cold, steady light. And then, darkness. They never heard anyone walk away. No retreating footsteps, no brush moving, just silence. The hiker described it as the most terrifying moment of their life. Because think about it. If someone was out there, if it was just a random hiker, they would have said something, even a simple, "You okay?" or "Follow me." But instead, whoever or whatever was watching them stood there, twice, shining the light, then vanishing. It didn't feel like help, it felt like a game. And this is where the story gets under your skin, because Appalachian folklore is littered with tales of things in the woods that mimic humans, but aren't. The old timers talk about mimics, voices that lure you deeper and deeper into the trees, lights that look like lanterns but lead you astray. Some people call them spirits. Others whisper about something older, guardians of the land, who don't take kindly to strangers. In fact, there was a recurring warning in Appalachian culture. If you see a light in the woods, don't follow it. We talked about this. Whether it's a ghost lantern or a will-o'-the-wisp or something more sinister, the outcome is rarely good. The hiker said the worst part wasn't even the silence. It was the feeling, that prickling sensation on the back of your neck. I got it right now. That tells you you're being watched. That instinctive shiver that makes you turn around. Sure, your eyes are going to lock on something from the tree line, but there is nothing there. They describe it like this. "I heard people walking around the woods twice and called out for help. Both times they just stopped, shining lights at me, and then they left without saying anything." Now let that sink in. Imagine being utterly alone, desperate for help, and the only human contact you get is a pair of footsteps that freeze when you call out, a flashlight that stares at you without explanation, then disappears. And the kicker? They never found out who or what it was. Eventually, wandering for hours, they managed to stumble their way to an old service road, flag down a passing car, but they never got the answers they wanted. There were no search parties in the areas that night. No other hikers reported being in the woods. Whoever or whatever was out there was with them but never came forward. So what was it? A cruel prank? Someone messing with them in the most dangerous way possible? Or is it something older? Something Appalachian folklore has been warning us about for centuries. Lights and voices in the woods that aren't meant to be trusted. Personally, I think that's what makes this story so unsettling. It doesn't give you closure. It leaves you in that moment in the woods with the flashlight beam pointing right at you and the silence pressing all around. And maybe, just maybe, the scariest part isn't what they saw, it's what they didn't.
Absolutely. I
Dang.
always feel like somebody's watching me.
His name's Galactus.
That's right. There he is, looking
Oh
over
my-
our shoulders. Golly.
The idea of the light coming on, like on you, and you shout out, but you hear nothing, or the
It's
footsteps that follow you till you call out and they stop.
because you know they're right there. You know they're right
Mhm.
there. And then if you're like, I need help, and then no help comes, that's just evil. It's evil.
Mhm. When I was hiking in those woods, I used like I literally went every single day, every single night I was out there. I mean, it was after work, but it was wintertime, so it was super dark. And I knew the woods like the back of my hand because I did the same trail and I knew where the
Mhm.
logs were and everything and all this stuff. And so when something's out of place, you recognize it almost instantly. Like that wasn't
Right.
just there the other day, be it a tree down or whatever. And there was so the way I would do it, I tried to get so many miles in the woods, like I would track it like so many steps or whatever. And so there was one part after I did all these loops that I would walk out of the woods onto like this walking trail just to
Mhm.
get a couple extra steps, just to turn back in to get my full thing in.
Right.
And at that point, I realized there was somebody in the woods who was tracking me. I could only see their headlight because it was pure darkness. And as I turned around and they recognized that I recognized them, poof, they turned off the light.
What?
Yeah. And so, dumb enough, instead I could just walk the trail back to my house. I'll go back into the woods. And I'm like, you're tracking me. Now I'm tracking you. I turn off my light. Now I knew the woods very well because I'd done that trail every single night. And I go and I go and I get up close to that person. And he's standing there with 3 like big dogs. I don't know what kind of dogs they were on a leash. They weren't making any noise, and neither was he. And I walked by and I did the thing that most people would say. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" Says not a word. Just turns around and walks back into the woods. That creeped me out.
Tim, you're going to become one of these stories, man.
Luckily, I'm still here to tell the story, but that creeped me out because that when he turned his light off, I was like, he's hiding from something, and that got me.
It was a cold winter night in Ohio in the mid 2010s. Tim went for his nightly run in the hike, like into the woods.
It creeps me out even thinking about it now, but that was, I mean, could you imagine that? No, I mean,
what in the world? What in the world?
all right, give us your last story, sir, because I don't know
All
how
right.
much more hair up, hair down I can keep doing on my arm.
Shoot. Well, go ahead. Tell you this story is entitled "Grandma's Warning," so
Oh gosh.
be prepared. Every hollow has its stories, but in Pine Creek, the rules weren't just told around campfires. They were stitched into everyday life. Children were raised on them the way city kids are raised on nursery rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
One family, the McKays, lived on the same stretch of land for generations. They were good people, church-going folks, but even more than the preacher's sermons, they listened to Grandma McKay. She was the kind of woman who could tell you the weather by her knees and could hush a crying baby with just a hymn. She knew the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go into the woods after dark. You don't whistle in the hollow. And if you hear family calling you from outside the house after midnight, don't you dare answer. Her grandchildren rolled their eyes, especially 16-year-old Sarah. She was
Mhm.
stubborn, headstrong, and thought her grandma's warnings were just some old-time nonsense. One summer night, Sarah went to a bonfire with some friends out on the ridge. They sang, they drank a little. Just to prove she wasn't scared, Sarah whistled loud into the dark, laughing at her own bravery.
Mm.
The boys cheered, but the fire sputtered. One of them swore they saw movement in the trees, but Sarah just shook her head. When she crept home past midnight, the porch light was still on, but the house was dark inside. She slipped into bed, pretending nothing was wrong. Around 2 in the morning, she woke to the sound of her mother's voice outside the window. "Sarah, come help me with the chickens."
Oh.
She was still half asleep. Sarah started to rise, but from the other room came her grandmother's voice, firm and sharp. Don't you open that curtain.
Mm.
Sarah froze. The voice outside grew more insistent, almost angry. Sarah, right now. The tone was wrong, strained, hollow, like her mother speaking through clenched teeth.
Mm.
She whispered to her grandma, "But that's Mama." Her grandmother sat right up in her chair, eyes hard. "Your mama's asleep in the next room. Whatever's calling you ain't her." The voice outside fell silent, replaced by the soft scratching at the window pane. It went on until dawn.
Oh
Then
my God.
Sarah finally opened the curtains at sunrise. She found handprints in the dew on the glass, too large, too long fingered to be her
Mm-mm.
mother's. She never whistled again. And from that day on, she listened to every word her grandmother told her, because in Appalachia, the rules weren't just tradition, they're survival.
Mm.
Whew. Listen to grandma, y'all.
Yeah, listen to your grandma first of all. Take care of your grandma. Again,
Oh,
that you
man.
got this part of the story made me like hold my breath. You know what they do in scary movies? They wait until they get you tight, and then they're like, "Ah," you know.
Jump scare.
Yeah, jump scares coming for sure. Gosh, that is creepy. Like the whole thing about hearing her mom outside, and then the grandma
Mhm.
saying, "Your mom's in the room next door sleeping."
Yeah.
That's creepy as heck. And then the scratching all night long until dawn.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mm-mm. 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 No,
Whew!
sir. No,
Goodness
sir.
gracious. All right. I have never been ready to be through an episode so fast.
Well, we got one final story for you all.
Yeah. Well, I think why this is like for me, why I relate to the scariness is that we've all been camping or we've been out in the woods
Yeah.
at dark and and stuff like that. And like I was talking about the hiking, like that weird feeling like is somebody behind me or next to me or lurking where I can't see. And I think like that's what we can draw on, even we don't live in Appalachia, but that kind of thing just kind of sticks with you a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, here is my final story to make you have nightmares tonight. Let me I'm not kidding. Let me take you to southern West Virginia, right in the heart of Appalachia. Now, if you've ever been there, you know the nights are different. The kind of dark you don't get in cities or suburbs. No street lights, no porch lamps, no distant highway glow, just pitch black forest pressing in on every side. A darkness so complete it feels almost alive. That's where the story begins. Two friends decided to take a nighttime walk through the trails. Nothing unusual. It was something they have done plenty of times before. That night, the forest felt active, alive. They could hear the scurrying of small animals in the brush, the hoot of an owl, the sigh of wind moving through the trees, all normal sounds of a forest doing its thing. They hiked halfway down the trail, packed a joint, lit it up, and just stood there, as you do, talking, laughing. The kind of easy conversation you have when you're surrounded by woods, when the world feels both huge and private at the same time. But then, just as they finished smoking, something changed. The forest went silent. We know what that means.
Yep.
Not gradually, instantly, like a switch had been flipped. Every chirp, every flutter, every rustle cut off at once. The air itself seemed to be still, heavy, and unnatural. And anyone who spent time in the mountains knows when the forest goes quiet, that's when you should worry. And then they heard it. A voice. Not a clear, friendly voice. Not someone calling for help. No, this voice was wrong. It was shaky, distorted like a mocking imitation of a human voice. The closest comparison they gave was an old children's toy with dying batteries, crackly,
Oh.
robotic. Oh my God. Like a record skipping on repeat. It sounded human, but not human all at once. Nightmare. They bolted, hearts pounding, adrenaline surging. They ran down the trail as fast as they could. But here's where the story gets terrifying. Okay, now it's terrifying. Okay.
Now.
But here's where the story gets terrifying. No matter how far they ran, the voices stayed with them. It didn't get louder. It didn't get softer. It didn't fade into the distance like you'd expect if someone or something were standing in the woods calling after them. No, the voice stayed at the exact same volume, always behind them, always around them, never closer, never farther away, just endlessly repeating, rattling, and mocking, refusing to fade. Imagine that. Running full sprint through pitch black woods, lungs burning, eyes straining, and no matter how much distance you put between yourself and where it started, the voice just keeps riding your back. Mechanical, inhumane, relentless. And there's where the Appalachian folklore kicks in, because there are rules everyone grows up and talks about in the mountains know. And we talked about these before, so I'll go over these really quick. Rule number 1, never respond to voices calling after you. Doesn't matter if it sounds like your mom or your best friend or a child crying for help. If you hear that in the woods, you keep moving. Rule number 2, don't admit you saw or heard anything strange. If someone asks, the answer is always no, because the more attention you give it, the stronger its hold over you. The storyteller's family drilled these rules into them growing up, and in that moment, sprinting through the dark with a voice chasing, they remembered exactly why. Now, skeptics will say it could have been an echo, sound bouncing strangely through the hollow, or maybe it was some hiker messing with them. But here's the problem. Sound doesn't behave that way. Echoes fade. Pranks fall behind when you run. But this voice, this mocking, mechanical chant never shifted, never tired, never left. And if you spent any time reading Appalachian accounts, you know this isn't a one-off. People all over the region tell eerily similar stories, voices that almost sound human, but not quite, cries that stay the same distance no matter how far you move, lights in the woods that never get closer, never farther, just hover. And it's like mountains themselves have a way of playing tricks, or something in them doesn't want you to leave. The Redditor said it once was the scariest nights of their life. They made it home safe, but that sound, that voice haunted them for weeks. Not just because of how it sounded, but because of what it meant. If the rules are right, then the voice wasn't random. It was something that knew that they were there, something that wanted them to hear it, something that wanted to be answered. And here's the part that gets me. They never described what the voice was saying, only that it was mocking, shaking, distorted, like it was trying to speak but couldn't form words, which means it wasn't really communicating, it was performing, like a puppet show for the ears, a lure on a line. And here's the question. What happens if you do answer? What happens if you stop running, turn around and call back? Maybe nothing. Maybe it vanishes, or maybe that's when it steps out of the tree line, smiling with a face that isn't quite human. The storyteller didn't stick around to find out, and neither should you.
I got no strings to hold me down. Oh.
The way to describe the voice of like a dying toy and that rattle.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh. And then the very end talking about steps out of the tree line, smiling with a face that isn't quite human. No.
No, sir. No, sir. Not this guy.
Dear Lord, take this pain from me and this fear. I can't do it. Help me, God, help me. Oh my
wow.
God. Yeah.
Wow. This has probably been one of the most creepy episodes we've ever done.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. 100%. I have never felt so scared hearing or reading a story out loud. The crazy thing about this, probably like you, Billy, I read these stories twice last night, each one. And maybe it was more because I was just like skimming them and make sure I knew the cadence and things like that. It didn't get me. But here, now, hearing yours and then reading these, forget it. It got me.
Gotcha. Done.
Dear listener, I hope it gets you too.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad. I'm kind of glad we covered it. Glad I'm not like Appalachia. We respect your rules. We ain't gonna break them.
We do.
We're just telling other people's stories. We believe in you.
We believe.
We believe. Oh my God. And if you believe and have creepy stories about Appalachia or heard a story like this, or just another story about being lost in the woods, Billy, where can they tell us that story at?
Yeah, a great place would be on Facebook at All the Everything Podcast. Yeah, please let us know if you have any creepy stories or any firsthand experience. We would love to hear that. But while you're there, go ahead and check us out on all the social medias. We got YouTube, we got Facebook, like I said, we have Instagram, we have X. We're everywhere. So
we got them all
the Everything Podcast. Easy peasy to find us. But yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Yes. As long as you're not calling us from the woods, we don't want to hear from you.
That's right.
And if you ever hear mine or Billy's voice in the woods calling for you, trust and believe it's not us, because we're going to be out there no more.
Nope. At least not for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this was such a creepy but fun episode to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us for yet another amazing and scariest crap episode of All the Everything Podcast. I hope you guys have a great day and stay out of the woods.
Bye, y'all.